Welcome to the market video for the week of November 17th, 2014. I'm Michael Saul, also known as Tiny, and let's take a look at what's going on in the market. So last week we churned at all-time highs here for the S&P 500. You see, every time we tried to dip down, we gapped down on Wednesday, they bought them up. Thursday there was some shake and bake, but we still closed above the open, and at new highs, I believe, or close enough to them, whatever it is. And then Friday we had a real narrow range candle. So we are extended here, we are stretched here. Momentum clearly favors the upside. I do believe we are due for a rest. I wrote an email on Thursday that said, really watch your backs here, because I'm not calling a top here. I don't think we're starting a new bear market or any of that stuff, but we'd do a pullback, and the pullback would be a really good thing for the bulls here. It would allow those that missed the move, didn't believe the move, late to the party, whatever it is, another chance to get on and fuel a move into the end of the year. I do think we're going to go higher into the end of the year. It could come from here because we are churning, we are going sideways, but I think we're going to get a pullback first. Of course, I got an email from somebody that said, don't worry, the market's just going to market always goes up, I believe the email said, and I just laughed because, I mean, how do you argue with that? The market just, I mean, even this nice, okay, it's the end of the world, well, I'm sorry, it's the start of the end of the world, we double topped and that's it. Nope, just a couple weeks later, we're right back up at all-time high. So let's get a level of where I'm looking at next on the upside. The 127.2% external retracement of this pullback comes in at 207.33. I think we're getting there sooner rather than later. I mean, from here, what is it, 1.5%? So it's really not that big of a prognostication. Is that the correct word? And above that, we have the 162% at 214.25. Take a little bit longer to get there, about 5% of a move. But I think we're probably going to get there too. I think that's a good year-end target. I think this is a good short-term target. What I want to be careful here is that if we do pop out of this, and we don't have to hit that level, but if we do pop out of this, I want to be real careful here. Make sure that we're trailing our stops up really nice and tight here, because these are the kind of levels where which is all-time highs, where profits get taken, and it could leave some late to the show buyers holding the bag. Like, all right, well, you know what, we got to get in now. We're going to miss the end of year rally, and then boom, then the pullback comes. And you know what? You could sit here and justify it all you want. You could sit here and say, well, what's the difference? We just came right back. But this was a nice smack. Okay, I mean, if you're buying this breakout here out of this little consolidation, if you're buying that breakout, I mean, you're smacked here. And granted, if you're just going to have the, head in the clouds attitude of, well, we always go back, and you didn't use a stop, and you took this type of drawdown, I mean, hey, congratulations, you held through it. But, as professional traders, and this is what, we have to look at every setup from a professional point of view. Doesn't matter if you're doing this 1 hour a year, 1 hour a month, 1 hour a week, or every minute, right? If you're right on top of things, 1 hour a day, whatever it is, to keep that analogy going, it doesn't matter. You have to always approach the market like a professional, and that means you have to limit your risk. I'm not into 10% drawdowns of the overall market before I decide to bail. All right, and as we'll look, some stocks didn't recover all the way yet. I mean, they're on their way. They look like they're on their way, but a stock like Amazon that got yoinked, okay, that didn't recover all the way off of its highs yet. Nowhere close. This was a pretty nice piece of drawdown here. A pretty nice piece of drawdown. What was it, 20%? So, anyway, I'm not, running around like Chicken Little, the sky is falling, or the great bear market and the great crash. I don't think so. I think we're going higher into year end. I just would like to see it after a pullback. Of course, the market doesn't always do what I would like. All right, let's look at some other sectors real quick. NASDAQ just on its way. I believe the NASDAQ is going to new all-time highs. Don't think they make it the end of this year. I'm sorry that I'm laughing. at this, because at this point, I mean, I've been saying this every week, and every week we just basically keep inching higher here. I don't think it happens but by the end of this year. What's this? About a 17% rise from here, 16, whatever it is, whatever the math is. I don't think we get it this year, but I do think we're going to test these highs early next year. All right, there is a shot we do get it this year, but it doesn't look like it to me. Again, overbought. Would love to see a pullback first. Russell lagging right up here to these highs. We didn't get through these highs. This is what I wanted to watch for. We came up, we broke, and then we quickly reversed. We trapped a couple of aggressive traders there. Want to see the Russell start stepping up here. This is the time of year where the small caps should be outperforming the large caps based on seasonal tendencies. Mid caps look like they want to go to their highs, and the Dow is at highs, also a narrow range candle. I'd like to see a pullback across the board, and I would be stalking that for an end of year buying opportunity. Semiconductors look like they want to go to the highs. They're churning sideways here. Again, I don't see the market pulling back, and the semiconductors not. So if I'm thinking the market's going to pull back, I'm thinking that the semiconductors would too. I mean, you never know. It could go against the overall market, but it's not really that likely. Clad tanker, real nice setup here. Nice flag right under the highs here. I love these types of setups. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but what I love them so much is that you know where you're wrong right away. Right? If you get in here and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to buy this flag breakout, and then it comes back down, well, yeah, you can put a tight stop on. And if you're right, hey, you got a chance for a nice move here. All right, let's look at Maxim. Also, I mean, I like this type of pattern too. It's nowhere near as bullish, obviously, because it's still under the 200-day. But again, if you're looking to get on board and then it comes back in, you know where you're wrong very quickly. You also have a nice spot where you should see a little bit of stall. And if it does stall there, you can either take profits or move your stops, whatever you're looking to do. Let's look at what else. ADI. Yeah, I want to see it. See, it's too close to the 200-day, so I want to see it get above that. Intel. Yeah, Intel doesn't look like a totally clean pattern, but it is coiled up here on the short-term moving averages. See if that's going to break. I got to get moving here. I'm already almost 8 minutes in here. The banks look okay. They look like they want to test the highs up there. Bank of New York pulling back here if it holds support. Still looking for that to go higher. JP Morgan. Citigroup, they look okay. Bank of New York, yeah, I mean, little reversal hammer, inverted hammer up here in Bank of New York. But if this can pause, see if that can get going here. What else do I like to look? I like to look for Northern Trust. Yeah, I mean, may want to pause, go sideways a little, see if that'll keep going. And then Zion. Pulling back here. Watch the 20 EMA and the 50-day to see if they're going to hold. All right, let's look at some of the... We already looked at Amazon, but we'll look closer. Let's look at Amazon here. Really nice candle on Friday into the 200-day. I like to watch a pause here, though. I like to see it coil up and then see if it can continue moving higher. Applicious. I used to call it Googleicious, but now, I mean, Apple, what a breakout of this gorgeous pattern here. And it just keeps going. Definitely extended. I want to see a pause or a pullback here. I think that'll offer safer entry. Google is all coiled up here. You got the 50-day potential resistance and the 200-day. You want to watch Google here. Goldman Sachs. We didn't look at the brokers. I'm sorry. Goldman Sachs coiling up here, up at the highs. Brokers look okay. Again, overbought. I'd like to see a pullback. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay, there's Morgan. There's Legg Mason. Yeah, really nice move on Legg Mason. Talked about this a couple weeks ago. Caterpillar. Yeah, caught up on the 200-day. John Deere pushed above the 200-day, but you see how it came back? It failed back. You got to watch these. I'd rather see it do something like this than just break on through and keep going. That's what I want to watch on Amazon, right? A similar pattern. I'd like to see Amazon do something like this or go sideways at the 200-day rather than just break and go move off to the races. Some home builders. Somebody actually wanted me to look at Toll Brothers. So we'll look at a couple here, a couple of the home builders here. So Toll Brothers, you got the 200-day right above. So if this breaks out, you want to see if that comes in as potential resistance. Here's Beazer. Yeah, I mean, it's sloppy at the 200-day, so you want to see if it can get a tighter coil here. Ryland, yeah, again, right at the 200-day. You want to see what that's going to do there. A Potash, sloppy, but you could see it's in some sort of triangle here. See which way it wants to break out of it. Don't be biased on that. You got to wait for it to break. Here's Las Vegas Sands. Could be double bottoming here. Got to get above 66. Wynn Resorts. Yeah, I mean, could be an inverted head and shoulders. I don't know. Bonds. I mean, bonds are still just sitting here, held support, which is good, but needs to get some sort of movement one way or the other out of this. Notes look the same. Okay, gold. Yeah, gold coiled up. I mentioned that in one of the emails. Wound up shaking and then baking. Nice push up. Watch the 50-day moving average above. See if that comes in. Silver also into the 20 EMA. If you can get above that, watch the 50-day. Crude oil. Okay, broke down out of the bear flag we talked about and then had a reversal day on Friday. See if this carries anything here. Look at sugar. I don't really see anything here. It's a little sloppy. Coffee. Yeah, watch the 50-day as resistance. Again, also sloppy. How about the grains? Wheat. Yeah, we talked about this, how it was in a nice downtrend, and then we wanted to see if this held, and it did put in so far high or low. I mean, if this could pull back or pause and not give up too much, this could be a nice long side opportunity for a trade. It's still in an overall bear market, overall bear trend. Corn, same deal. Soybeans, 20 EMA held, but again, these are coming up as short-term uptrends. See what they do. All right, so again, overbought. I would love to see a pullback or a pause. We may not get one. We may just continue up here, but I would rather see a pullback or a pause. I think it's going to attract a lot of attention if it does. I'm not saying that we have to go up at the end of the year, but the setup is pretty likely that we're gonna. So I am looking for a pullback. I'm looking for support to hold, and then I'm looking to position long there and see where we go from there. See if we catch that 207.33 number and see if we can get to that 214.25 number. Have a great trading week. I will talk to you in the email. Sign up if you're not already on that list. And have a great trading week. You can always contact me, Tiny, at stockmarkettrendsex.com. Have a great week.